Hi everyone and welcome to today's session. My name is Ken Moraguri and I'm a verbal trainer with the Kenya ELF program. So today's session will be talking about one of the more confusing topics in critical reasoning and reading comprehension also, about pre-thinking. So is it an option? Should you maybe think through what the answer might be before going on to the answer choices and doing your eliminations? So we know that the most effective way to answer verbal reasoning questions is through process of elimination, and this means going through every answer option and thinking if it gives you the desired effect. So you have your stimulus and then you have your question. So it's up to you to determine if this answer option satisfies the requirement of your question given the information in the stimulus. So why do we use the process of elimination? Because most of the times when we're dealing with verbal reasoning questions, we're not looking for an absolute answer such that the other remaining choices are absolutely wrong. Most of the times you're looking for the best of those answer options. That means that you may find an answer option that is seemingly correct, but there is another answer option that is better placed in answering the question that we are answering. So that is why we use process of elimination. So pre-thinking comes in when you try to get the reasoning or the meaning of the stimulus and then trying to figure out what the answer should be. So if a question is strengthening a conclusion, you try to think through what could possibly strengthen the conclusion. That way, when you go to the answer choice, you now have a clue what you're looking for. So the question we're asking today, is it a good strategy to pre-think your answer? So pre-thinking your answer is double-sided. It has its advantages and disadvantages. So some of the advantages here are it involves deciding a potential. So this is the definition, involves deciding a potential answer before going through the answer choices. And note that it's a potential answer. It's very rare that you will pre-think an answer and then it will be exactly the way you imagined it that it will be. So some of the advantages is if you think of the correct answer, if you pre-think of the correct answer, especially for the easy questions, you'll probably end up finding the answer relatively quickly because you'll be looking through something that is similar to what you have thought of. And this may mean that you have understood the stimulus well. And this now needs an asterisk, this second point, because there's a difference between understanding the general meaning of this stimulus and understanding the specific thought that the author wanted to pass along. That is, if say you understand the meaning of a stimulus but miss say a word like significantly, and then this becomes important now when you're answering the questions. So see, if you find a question that needs this to work, you'll probably end up picking the wrong answer choice. So yes, you will understand the meaning of the stimulus, but it doesn't really mean that you have gotten the entire picture of this stimulus or the specifics of it. Then the technique itself is very useful when you're running out of time. So say you are at question 30 out of 36 and you have about 5 minutes left. So that's barely 1 minute for each question. So this can be a good strategy when you read through a stimulus and think through the possibilities, and then go through the answer options quickly trying to find an answer that is similar to your pre-thought answer. Having said that, pre-thinking also has its own set of drawbacks. So, one, labeling potentially correct answers as out of scope. So imagine you have thought of one way of, say, strengthening an argument, or one assumption, or one possible explanation to a paradox. So when you go to the answer choices, there is a very high possibility that whatever that is not related to the pre-thought answer that you have, you will eliminate it as out of scope. That is, you will not see its relevance to the question. And then the second one is you give less thought to non-traditional answers. These are answers that are seemingly not related to the subject matter of our stimulus, but in fact they actually affect it. So these, of course, you start seeing a lot of these when you get to the more difficult questions. Then virtually useless in medium or hard difficulty questions. That is, as you move up the difficulty, pre-thinking becomes kind of useless because the ways in which a conclusion can be affected by very many factors grows exponentially. So you'll find that the stimulus in an easy question is fairly easy. So the factors that will affect it, or say the number of ways in which, say, you can edit that conclusion, say strengthen it or weaken it, are very limited. But when you move now to the more difficult questions, it presents very many avenues of editing this conclusion. So pre-thinking doesn't really help, because at best you'll find something that is similar to what you have in your mind. And then you have weaker POE, and this is connected to falling in love with one thought, because you are skewed towards your thought and will probably not give the rest of the answer options as much thought as they deserve. Because sometimes we know that the connection between the answer choice and the question is a bit hidden, is not too direct. So you end up now probably giving more weight to some arguments that look like your pre-thought answer. So that being said, the recommendation is know exactly what the stimulus and the answer question asks. If, say, it's floor question, know exactly what floor questions need, know how to approach them, know how to approach different types of questions, and this comes from understanding of the stimulus and really getting what the author wanted, or what message the author wanted to pass along. After that, even if you pre-think, you'll not be close-minded such that you'll ignore all other options. So with that being said, let's look at an example and see if or how you can employ pre-thinking, and how pre-thinking can actually mess up your process of answering these questions. So please go ahead and pause, try it by yourself, and then you can unpause the video and we'll solve it together.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Upstack America. Upstack America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.upstackamerica.com. Upstack America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential.
Today's session. I'll see you in our next lesson. Bye.